In this screencast, I'm going to give you a quick introduction to building custom reports using the free Power Pivot add-on for Microsoft Excel. I'm going to show you this process in Excel 2013, however most of the functionality is also included in 2010. The process for installing Power Pivot is a little bit different in 2010. You have to download it as a free installable add-on, and also the user interface is a little bit different, but the basics are all the same. First of all, I need to enable the Power Pivot add-on. I can do this by clicking on File, Options, Add-ins, COM add-ins here from the Manage list, and then clicking Go. Now mine's already set up. Now mine's already installed here. I've got it ticked. By default, when you first install Excel 2013, this won't be included, or at least it won't be enabled. So you just need to tick that and then click OK. Once this is done, you'll see that there is a Power Pivot ribbon added to Excel. Now I'm going to take you through the process of connecting your Tidywork environment. Now I'm going to take you through the process of connecting to your Tidywork environment to retrieve your organization's data. First, click on the green Manage icon under the Power Pivot tab. This will open a separate Power Pivot window. From this, click the From the Get External Data menu, click From Data Service and From OData Feed. I'm going to give the connection the name Tidywork. And then I need to give it the URL to my Tidywork environment, which in my case is acmedemo.tidywork.com, and then there's a /OData on the end of it. Obviously, in your case, you will have a different prefix here. To be able to connect, we're going to need an API token from Tidywork. Over in Tidywork, edit a nominated user account. I'm going to choose Peter Project. And then tick the Allow API Access tick box down the bottom of the user record. If this section is not visible on your environment, then it might be that you need to have the API enabled. If that's the case, just get in touch with us. I'm just going to copy this token and save the record. Okay, now back in Power Pivot, I need to click on Advanced, and scroll down to the Security section, where I need to change the integrated security to Basic. The user ID should be the full name of the user that I'm using, so Peter Project, and then I can paste in my token as the password. Once I've done this, I just need to click on OK and then Next. At this stage, I need to choose which tables of data I'd like to report on. I want to build a report showing total of labor by project group and employees. So in my case, I'm just going to choose project groups, projects, task assignments, tasks, time entries, and users, and then click Finish. Now Excel is going to import all of the data from these tables and store it inside of my spreadsheet. Once this is finished, I need to tell Excel. Once this is finished, I need to tell Excel how these tables relate together. To do this, I'll click on Diagram View. And now I just need to join the tables together by the fields that they share. So if I want to connect project groups to projects, I'll do this by dragging from project group ID to that same named field over on the projects table. And again, projects to tasks on project ID. And tasks to task assignments, and so on. Now I'm going to save my spreadsheet. Back under the data view, I can see a preview of all of my tables of data that are being pulled out of Tidywork. Over under the time entries table, I'm going to, I can see that I've only got a minutes column here and not an hours column, and yet I'd like to see my reporting expressed as hours rather than minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a column using a formula. So to do this, I need to place my cursor into the first cell of that column, and then start typing a formula in here, just like you normally would with Excel. The formula is a little bit different in terms of format, the formula is a little bit different in terms of format from regular Excel queries. The formula in this case is going to be equals, and then open bracket, a square bracket, and I can choose minutes, and then divided by 60, and then I can press enter, and you can see that it's calculating based on 120 minutes. Each of these records has got 2 hours worth of time. And I can also just rename this column, right click, rename, and I'll call it hours. Okay, now I'm going to shut Power Pivot. This will take me back to my empty spreadsheet. Remember that all the data is actually stored in the background inside this spreadsheet file. So now in this first sheet, I'm going to insert a pivot table just to give you a feel for what's possible. There are a multitude of different ways that I can report on this data, charts, tables, pivot tables, filters, and so on. But I'm just going to give you this pivot table as a quick example. I'm going to choose to create a pivot table connecting to an external data source, and click choose connection, And here's the connection that I named tidywork. Open and OK. Now I want a column per employee, so I'll find the users table and drag the name into the columns area. Next I want to see my project groups down the left hand side, so I'm going to take the name from project groups and drag it into the rows area. And then lastly I'm going to look for my new hours column under time entries and drag it into values. So as you can see, it's giving me a breakdown by project group and by employee of the number of hours worked. Now of course beyond this I'm going to want to add filters to make sure that I'm reporting within a particular date range, and perhaps reporting only against approved time entries. All of this is possible within Excel's Power Pivot functionality, but I won't go into that now. The last thing I just want to point out is that any report that you create and format and so forth can be saved, and then at any later point you can open that file up, go into the Data tab and click Refresh All. Now that's going to allow you to pull a fresh copy of data from tidywork. You just need to supply the password, which is that token that we copied from the user record before, and it will go and refresh update all of your reports in the spreadsheet using up-to-date data. Thanks for your time, and hopefully that's given you an idea of what's possible with Excel and OData.